this. Alright, we'll start with that. Play. Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Infinite, and today I'm here with my buddy Levon, and we're going to be talking about the PS4 press conference. It happened, a week or two back, and not meaning to touch on it so late, but we're trying to touch on it and bring you the information that we've gathered and the questions that we want to have answered, and probably the questions that you guys want to have answered as well. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, Levon.
Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is Levon. Gamer tag on Xbox Live is V9INETECHGURU. So this is what I do. I'm a gamer, and Infinite's my dude. I've been knowing this guy for about a couple months now. Phenomenal guy. But we're gonna give you guys some information on what I saw from this PlayStation 4, quote unquote announcement. So I'm gonna give you guys a little more information. I'm gonna let Infinite take over from here.
The Dos Equis guys really got nothing on you. You know that, right?
Honestly, I try my best to keep myself as informed as possible and to let everybody know what's going on. I'm just a really just open guy. I give it to you straight. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm gonna tell you exactly how I feel, regardless of how you feel. So I'm just gonna give it to you how I believe that the gamers out there would have wanted to hear it. They would have wanted to receive it a little bit better, but they just kind of, I think they lowballed the whole announcement, so to speak. I think it was kind of weak, but that's my opinion.
They kind of dramatized it to be like something huge, like they were going to announce, like show the console and like show games that were going to be for it, but no, they only end up showing the controllers and they didn't even talk about stuff that like people actually wanted to hear. They just really talking about the controllers, social media. Like we all know about social media. It's just Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and MySpace is out of the business. That's it.
Yeah, they just really they were very, very vague on a lot of subjects that people really wanted to know. And what's so funny is Yahoo even posted an article about it, and the very first thing they brought up was used games. So let's go ahead and touch on the used games thing.
All right. Now,
the used games thing is a really big thing. Go ahead, Anthony. I'll let you take over this one.
What we all want to know is They mentioned something about how everything's going to go into the cloud, so to speak. Like iTunes is already transferred all over the cloud, and they're wondering if PS3 and the Xbox and Microsoft and everything like that is going to do the same thing, considering that they just want to be able to have downloads. Now, what is that going to cause for EB Games and GameStop? What's that going to do to them? That's going to throw them out of business.
One of the big things that I thought of about that, because, like I said, they were very, they didn't even, as a matter of fact, they didn't even mention anything about that being a factor. They didn't say that it would be able to play used games. They didn't say if it wouldn't be able to play used games. They talk, like I said, they talk more about developers and graphics and, teraflops and all the other good stuff, which is good. I mean, people want to know what the performance is going to be on this machine, but they just were completely non-existent to the fact that if this system will even play used games or not. I'll tell you one thing they did touch on a whole lot, and this leads me to believe, so this is a rumor, guys, so please do not quote me on this. They touched a lot on the PlayStation Store. I mean, they kept bringing up the PlayStation Store left and right, which leads me to believe that all the games will be downloadable. You will only be able to download the games to your system. Now, that poses a few problems.
That poses a huge problem for GameStop and EB Games, depending on your country or your region that you live in, considering the fact that if you're going to be purchasing your games offline, that EB Games and GameStop are going to be no longer existent if that keeps up.
Honestly, I wouldn't say all of that. I wouldn't say they'll be out of non-existent. I think they'll go to a different form of selling their games. They probably sell codes, so to speak. You'll be able to go into the store and buy a code, enter the code into the system, and I guess receive either points or the game itself to be able to receive the game. I think that's kind of the direction they might go in. Like I said, don't quote me on that. Only speculation.
I remember that, what's it called? Things like Bulletstorm. I remember Bulletstorm. You literally had to go and buy a brand new copy of Bulletstorm to even play the multiplayer with your friends, because it had to be a multiplayer code. Now everyone was freaking out because there were rumors going around about Black Ops 2 having something like that, a code for it to where you could only play multiplayer if you bought it brand new, and that's what they were trying to eliminate with this whole used games thing.
That's and that as like I said, that would be a horrible factor because, like I said, it'll put companies like EB Games, GameStop, Vintage Stock, eBay, Amazon, because they sell used games too. People have stores online where they sell used games, new games, whatever. But you're gonna put a dent in. I mean, you talk about the economy being bad. That's gonna really put a dent in it. And honestly, I think it's just the way that game developers are just being greedy. I mean, when you got a company like Treyarch who just made $500 million in 24 hours when Black Ops 2 came out. Come on now. I mean, it only cost you maybe $1 million, maybe $2-3 million to make Black Ops 2, and you made $500 million. I say that's greed to me. But hey, don't quote me on it. That's just me speaking.
Now, you said that they talked more about, the controller, and they didn't really mention anything that anyone wanted to hear. Now, let's talk about the controller for a second. And what I know about the controller is it's called the DualShock 4. I mean, it goes with the whole thing, like the PS2 had the DualShock 2, and the PS3 had the DualShock 3, and now the PS4 will have the DualShock 4. They really haven't changed up the look of it, rather than adding the thumbsticks in the back, like the triggers on the Xbox controller would. Considering the fact that, it's triggers. But apparently this one now has a touchpad. Like, where is that going to come in for Call of Duty? Is that going to be like calling in a UAV? Like, where do you see the interface coming from in big titles like Call of Duty and Crysis and Halo?
You know what? Honestly, well, Halo, of course, ain't on PlayStation.
Yeah, my bad.
That's okay.
I just completely
but I get your point, though. But I get your point, though. I totally get it. You know what? That's the first thing I thought of. When I saw that touchpad, I said, the first thing I thought of was functionality. How is this controller going to possibly function if it's going to even be applicable to every game on the PlayStation Network? So you have to think about that first. Will it only be exclusive to certain games, or will it be exclusive to every game, and then how is it going to incorporate itself into the game? So I thought about that too. I mean, when you're playing a fast-paced game like Battlefield or Call of Duty, you're not going to want to look down at your controller to do something because you got to worry about getting shot. So, I mean, you're not going to be looking down, you're going to be looking up. So I thought about all of that stuff.
I think about the whole concept of, say you're going to call in a kill streak or something, and you call it in and you press you just tap the touch screen and it calls it in or something. But,
But honestly, that's not so good, though, because it still takes time to have to look down at it. I mean, every second counts in a high-speed game like Call of Duty and Battlefield and Crysis and stuff. I mean, every second counts literally. You can't take your eye off the screen for 1 second or you will be dead. I mean, what's the point of calling in a kill streak when you're dead and you can't do it? So, that's kind of my point.
You do make a good point with that. The way I see it is that when you look at something like a big title game like Call of Duty, I could see, you being able to, memorize where it is, but you're still taking your fingers off the controller. Say, as soon as you go to call that in, you gotta rush, and you fumble, and you drop your controller. Kill streak ended, you lose your nuke, or whatever.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it makes perfect sense. That's just... Now, one thing I do know that it will do, is one person did mention this, I guess he kind of leaked information. They're gonna probably use it more than likely for, the Madden games. When you call in your plays, you won't have to be able to look at your screen, so folks won't be able to see what you're doing. Now that's a good idea. To be able to hide your plays and only have them on your touchpad. That's a good idea because it's the whole secrecy thing. I don't want you to possibly guess what I'm about to get ready and do on this next play. I want you to completely be in the dark. It's almost like you're the coach and the other team can't see nothing. I like that concept.
I could see it being something like the little pad for IMAX and stuff that you put your finger on and you drag, it's your mouse basically. I could see that, incorporating itself, you swipe it to move, the PlayStation screen and then swipe it down to, pull it back up, or say you're picking a custom class in Call of Duty, you swipe it up and down. I could see, that interface being put into something like that. But other than that, I really can't see it going much further than selecting things. I could see that as being a mouse if you didn't want to use the analog sticks, but, moving your thumb a quarter of an inch isn't really that big of a deal.
That's what I thought of. I'm like, okay, you got this nice controller with this screen on it now. I mean, the screen's not very big, so how much really can it really do for real?
And what happens?
You got to think about that.
What happens if you drop it? What's the repair cost on the screen?
That's a good point. I never even thought of that. Like, that's a very good point. Like, what happens if you break that thing? I mean, then not only that, how sensitive is the display on it? Is it like an iPhone where you dump
you
it
drop
and
it on carpet from like 2 inches and it shatters?
And it shatters, right? That's a very good point. I never even thought of that. But I mean, that is just I don't know. I can go into so much detail about that, but I'm not even going to. I wanna talk more about, you know, this this whole concept of them not even showing the console. I mean, they did not even want to show the console at all. I'm like, that's a pretty major thing, you know. You're gonna have this announcement about this PlayStation 4, but you're not even gonna show how it looks. That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
That's like saying you're gonna announce a McRib, but you only bring the bun. they bring you one slice of the rib. Look, that's all we can afford to get right now. It's a prototype. Oh, no. That's crazy. That's a very good point. I mean, they didn't show this console. That's like walking
whatsoever.
into like the press conference with a big ass briefcase, and you're like, "Yeah, dude, I'm gonna show off this PS4," and you pull out a controller. Come on.
That's basically what they did. I mean,
like they open up this huge briefcase and out they pull the controller. That's all they pull out.
That is basically what they did. I'm telling you. Like, and what's funny is like if you watch it, if anybody goes to watch this press conference, you will notice there was no big hoopla about anything they did. I mean, you would think people would be going nuts and going crazy, like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be awesome!" And none of that happened. I mean, it got some regular standard claps. I'm like, that's not how the Xbox 360 came out. When it came out, there was hoopla. People were going nuts, like, "Yeah, this is freaking awesome!"
Like,
but no,
you know, they were probably like, "Yeah, woo, you know, let's just clap because we're respectful, not because we enjoy."
Right. I think that's exactly what they did, because people were disappointed in all this. I mean, they brought so many game developers out to talk about games, and matter of fact, even one of the designers for the PlayStation 4 even had the audacity to show a game that he made. I'm like, who cares about your games? Who cares about the games that's coming up? Who cares about the show us something that's relevant? We've already seen how the games perform. You showed us 3 games already. Good, great. Show us something else that we don't know now. Now, like they did this bull crap about, well, you know, people will be able to jump into your game right as you're playing it, and, you know, see and watch your game live and see all your great kills and your great plays. Who cares? Like, I don't care about that. Like, to me, I want to be able to. If I'm going to watch somebody play a game, I'm going to want to actually play it. I mean,
if I don't want to, you know, they're just like, it's like if you want to watch someone play a game, go to YouTube, type in a kill to death ratio. I guarantee you something will pop up.
Oh, you better believe it will. You're gonna get something. You know, another thing they talked about that I absolutely like loved. I don't even lie. This part about it, I will give them kudos on this one. They did mention about like downloadable content and how it will affect your gameplay when you're actually downloading it. I like that.
Yeah, you mentioned something about like you could play it as you download it.
Yeah, you can play the games. Like if you download content like a video game, you can play it as it's downloading. I thought that was pretty awesome. And like also, like you can when you download stuff, let's say I'm downloading a map pack. Let's use that as an example. I'm downloading a map pack.
Yep.
I can still go to my game and play my game as my map pack is downloading. Like now, you gotta wait till that crap is done, and
yeah,
you can't do nothing extra.
Yeah, like with the dashboard, you have to literally go and sit at the dashboard and just like entertain yourself by swiping through the multiple screens, and just like do that for an hour and a half until it's done.
Right, and granted, the internet's pretty fast nowadays. You know, you don't have to worry about that too much. But you know, but still a pretty, you know, pretty problematic thing. You know, and you know they talked about that, and they talked about, you know, like I said, the game developers, and they talked about like, you know, downloadable content, and you know, in the PlayStation Store. I mean, they just rambled on and on about the PlayStation Store. I swear, it will not surprise. And another thing, oh my God, here's another thing. I thought about this too.
Yeah.
Let's just say, for instance, all their games are downloadable. You don't have to. There's nothing you can pay for as far as discs go. It's all digital data. Let's say that is the fact. Okay, great. Here's the problem with that. According to what they told me and what I heard on that interview, the hard drive's only going to be like 500 gigs like in size. There's a problem with that because by the time you get your like 25th game, if you do go that far, like you're out of storage. On top of downloadable content like map packs and avatars, and you're out of storage. So that leads me to believe, because I mean you got to understand, a Blu-ray game, which is PlayStation 3 right now, is 20 gigs of data. 20 times 25, that's 40. That's hello. That's almost 50, like 500 gigs right there.
Yeah,
that's all your space right there. You're out of space. Now what? You got to buy a bigger hard drive, and you got to transfer your data over. You know how long it's going to take to transfer data? 500 gigs. Have any idea how long that's going to take? Like, you got to think about stuff like that. I mean, I don't think they thought about any of that stuff. I thought about all of that.
I think that, like, they had, when did the PS3 come out?
I don't even remember, to be honest.
They had a time from then until now to work out everything, and now they're just announcing a bunch of BS that people, you know, some of it people want to hear, but most of it wasn't the best hoopla out there.
It wasn't. And my honest opinion, now I do like this function that they mentioned too. They mentioned one thing about like I can't think of what they called it. They call it something like I guess like recording, like I guess when you record your games, kind of how we're doing right now.
Like an Elgato, like how an Elgato works.
It's kind of going to be integrated into the machine, to where you can upload your stuff and it's all integrated. I like that concept. Like everything, like you can actually, like let's say on Call of Duty, like you go to theater and you find your game, you can actually edit it the way you want to, and and once you're done, upload it to YouTube right from your console. I like that idea. Like it. But I mean, that's great, but you still ain't helped us out. Like you still ain't helped us out. Like as far as the big question, like the used games thing. Like, what if I take my game over to my friend's house? I can't play it on his console. What if there's a huge gaming convention, GameCon? They have them all the time. I can't bring my games to GameCon and play them at the convention because the system don't play used games. Or I got to do all this stuff online. I got to be completely online based. I mean, that kills the whole social thing of having a social gathering. It kills it. Like
tournaments.
I don't know.
Say goodbye. Say goodbye to the tournaments, because
I mean, they're gonna be online tournaments. That's about all you can do. It's an online tournament. There's no get together and have a good time and eat some chicken wings and have some drinks and stuff and party and chips and chicks and game. And you can forget about it. It's all at your house. So I hope the party's at your crib. So if the party ain't at your house, you fresh out of luck. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, that code is going to be embedded into your console. Once you put it in there, one-time code done. That thing fries, you're screwed out of, you know.
Well, according to speculation, none of this has been confirmed. Like that particular thing, used games, people, that has not been fully confirmed yet. So that's still just speculation. But if that does happen, like my boy Infinite said, that's exactly you're screwed. Like,
but I could see them doing what iTunes does, and what they do is as soon as you purchase something, it goes into something a cloud in their system where you have all your music stored. It's called the purchase section, and you can go and re-download what you've bought. Say like your computer crashes, which mine did, and I had to get a new one. Well, lucky for me, they initiated the whole purchase thing, so I re-downloaded all my music and got it all back for free because I had already paid for it.
That's a great idea.
So that's what if they want to plan on doing something like that and say their console fries or it breaks or something goes wrong with it and you lose everything, that's what they need. They need to be able to have something in the cloud or something anywhere, like an account personally for you, like your PSN for you, that has a purchase section where you can, bring your own stuff in and, you can re-download it if something happens.
That's going to be a problem, though. I'm going to tell you why. Here's the problem with that. Good idea, though. Phenomenal idea. Love the idea. Here's the problem. Let's say I call my friend up and say, hey, log into my account on your PlayStation. He can just re-download all my games to his system and ain't got to pay a dime for them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Here's what they do
Developers going to lose money.
Here's what they do on iTunes. You have to have authorization. And what if they don't allow you to authorize it? You are only allowed to authorize it unless you answer security questions, other questions, and you can only authorize this to 5 other things, 5 other computers. So if you wreck 5 computers, you're done. You know, if you wreck 5 PS4s, like, if you're wrecking 5 PS4s, you honestly need to go to, like, a mental institution for help. Like,
yeah,
you know,
something's wrong with
console abuse awareness school or something. I don't know, but if you're wrecking consoles, you know, don't do that. Stop the consoles. Stop the console abuse.
Need to go to CA, Consoles Anonymous. Say hey, my name is Levon, and I'm a consoleaholic. Hey, Levon.
Call 1-800 console awareness.
Yeah, man. Honestly, that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much what I got from the entire announcement. Like, I just think it was very weak. They were very vague on a lot of information. They could have done better. I just know that when that Xbox 720 announcement comes out, man, it's gonna be big. Cause you better believe they took notes.
Yeah, you better believe
Microsoft took notes.
They took notes and they were like, we're gonna do this a lot better than them.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a major thing. Like they took notes and they're like, this wasn't good enough. We gotta do something 30, 40 times bigger than this.
And I will definitely guarantee you subs that we will be coming back to talk about the Xbox 720 announcement.
Oh, you better believe it. Yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Infinite
definitely
channel.
To me and over at V9. You want to say goodbye?
My YouTube channel is V, the number 9INE.
His link will be
I don't have that many videos
below,
up, but I will. But I will have a lot of videos coming up pretty soon. My guy Infinite, check him out. He's got a phenomenal channel. I love his channel. Love it, love it, love it.
Oh, you're flattering me. Now I'm blushing.
Man, I gotta give props to you, man, because you're doing a good job, man. I mean, honestly, like a lot of guys your age, I mean, ain't even putting in the kind of work that you're putting in. So I'm proud of what you're doing, man. You're doing an awesome job.
Thank you. But anyways, guys, we're going to wrap up this video real quick. Sorry it took so long to cover all the topics that we wanted, but hopefully you guys stuck around at the end of the video. But as always, leave me a like, drop a comment, and hit the subscribe button to me and Levon. And as always, guys, let your life be infinite, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Peace.